There are strange movements taking place in China that have caused concern for the US administration, as China is storing large quantities of food and raw materials in quantities that exceed their normal needs, and China's preparations are an indication of their intention to invade Taiwan. As the US Congress believes that what China is currently doing is similar to what Nazi Germany did when it collected large quantities of copper in 1939 before invading Poland, which confirmed to American experts that China does not intend anything good. What increased the US administration's suspicion is China's illogical moves in the food market, as China bought wheat from Ukraine and Brazil, although its last crop was very abundant and estimated at more than 280 million tons. The topic is very long, but you watch this channel because of the speed of answering questions, so I'll try to shorten the story, and if you want long videos, tell me in the comments. Simply put, the American analyst Lester Brown sees in his controversial book Who Will Feed China, published in 1995, that the wealth of the Chinese people will be a black calamity for the world due to the emergence of the middle class in China, which will have greater food requirements, as this class will reduce the consumption of rice and move to the consumption of meat, fish and eggs, which will cause, according to the American experts, an increase in global food prices because the consumption of grains will increase more to feed cattle and pigs. Of course, now you're saying to yourself, what am I saying? What does Lester Brown have to do with China, since China is feeding itself? Food is its problem. But he answered this question at the beginning of his book, when he said that crowded societies like China that are moving towards rapid industrialization are devouring agricultural land during this process, which creates a crisis in grain production, which will make China move to importing grain in order to meet their needs. Therefore, Brown sees China as a major threat to the global food security. Unfortunately, Brown's predictions have come true on the ground, although the Chinese government tried to prevent this, as China lost about 8 million hectares of agricultural land from 1996 to 2005. But how? Simply put, these lands are no longer suitable for agriculture and have become industrial lands. But at the beginning of the video, I told you that China can still produce a lot of grains that are enough for it despite the scarcity of land. And this is due to the crazy use of fertilizers, which has increased the problems of land corruption. In short, China's weak point is its food security, and it's difficult for it to withstand an American economic blockade, especially since it imports more than 70% of its corn needs from the United States, and currently it's trying to reduce this demand for American corn and replace it with Brazil and Ukraine. Also, most of China's suppliers are either allies of America or afraid of it, so America can literally besiege China. Also, the presence of food supply problems if China decided to enter Taiwan would cause a massive public anger and endanger the political system in China, especially since the new generation have not experienced the hunger that their ancestors have experienced, and the majority of the Chinese youth have iPhones in their pocket, drink from American cafes, and eat American Kentucky Fried Chicken. So, can Gen Z endure hunger and severing of all US ties? Or will Gen Z be the reason for the Chinese regime not to turn to Taiwan? Or will the Chinese government be able to control the situation? What do you think?